And welcome back to All Sports Western New York. Now in studio from the famous Harlem Globetrotters, none other than Zeus McClurkin. And Zeus, to the magic of television, you're 6'8", I'm 5'8". We look the same size, don't we?
Yes, don't tell anybody.
Hey, welcome to Buffalo. Buffalo has always been a stop for the Trotters. And I told you before we started the show, I have actually played for the Washington Generals against the Trotters back in the day, long before, maybe before you were even born. But what has kept the Trotters so fresh, so new? They're coming to town February 6th. It's a Friday night. We're going to plug the tickets. But why the Trotters are still as popular today as they were 20, 30 years ago? What's kept the game and the Trotters as an organization fresh?
Well, Bob, first, thanks for having me. Second off, you know, we've been around for 89 years, 89 consecutive years since 1926. We're known as innovators of the game of basketball. We brought and made popular such things as the three-point shot, the three-man weave, the slam dunk. Not only that, but you guys, when you come to a Harlem Globetrotters game, we're very interactive with our fans. As you can see here, you guys are all going to have a good time. I remember just playing with these guys, and every time I look out, I'll see somebody, you know, 10 years old, and then I'll see their parents, and then I'll see even their grandparents. All of them have the biggest smiles on their faces, and that's what you come to a Globetrotters game for. You know, you can kind of leave all your problems at the arena door, and then when you get out there, you'll have a smile as big as that young lady right there.
Wow. What makes the typical Trotter, I mean, what traits do you have to be a successful Harlem Globetrotter? Well, aside from you have to play basketball.
Yeah. Of course you have to play basketball, but in my case you had to be extremely handsome to be a Harlem Globetrotter. Besides that, though, you know, we all come onto the team just about knowing how to spin the ball on our finger, but they look for people who are very philanthropic within their own rights, because we do a lot of things for our community. Like, I just got done speaking at a school today about the ABCs of bullying. We told kids there how you could take action, how you can be brave, and also how you can have compassion on somebody who's been bullied, or if you yourself are being bullied. And you know, you have to be able to have those kind of traits. We also do another thing where we go to local hospitals and we visit the rooms there and the patients there, and we just try to put smiles on the kids' faces. It's called Smile Patrol, and you know, maybe give some good news to these kids that might not have had good news in the past.
And your personal story, you're basically a guy that doesn't take no for an answer.
Right.
I mean, you've had many stops along the way where you could have said, you know what, I think basketball has taken me as far as it can take me. But you've never taken that option. You've always continued to look for another way into the game. How did you get to the Trotters?
It was a series of fortunate events, Bob. I actually didn't make my first basketball team until my 11th grade year in high school. I got cut from 7th grade all the way up to 10th grade. And then the summer of 10th grade, I drank a lot of milk for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I finally had my growth spurt, and I grew about 5 inches. But I still wasn't any good in basketball. I was this happy-go-lucky kid who just loved to smile and dunk. I was the type of guy who would line up at the free throw line with the opposing team and say, hey, man, you're having a good game, man. Keep it up. Or if I fouled somebody, I'd say, oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to hit you so hard. And, you know, a lot of my coaches frowned upon that. You know, they said, you need to get this killer instinct. You got to have a mean streak in you. But I never had that. So it's just very fortunate that now I actually get paid to smile and dunk. And it's very fulfilling for me to play for the Harlem Globetrotters, because that's exactly what we're known for.
So you're with the Trotters. Mm-hmm. We saw the highlights, and many of the things that the Trotters have made famous, as you talked about, prior to it being part of the regular game. I mean, the kids in high school basketball now are doing things the Trotters did 40 years ago, and everybody thought, you know, was kind of just show business, but it's become very much a part of the game.
Exactly. There's something we've been doing now for the last 4 years, and I've even heard talks of them trying to implement it in other leagues. The 4-point shot, which is about 35 feet away from the basket and 12 feet away from the NBA three-point line. And we've been hitting that for the last 4 years now, and you know, other leagues have looked to pick it up overseas and also locally here in America.
Why don't you tell us about who some of the best players on the Trotters are today?
All right, the best players today, we've got a roster full of people. You guys can log online to harlemglobetrotters.com and see our full roster. I'm the best looking one. Besides me, we have 3 females on our team. Fatima TNT Maddox, Tammy Tea Time Bronner, and Joyce Sweet J Ekwamadu, and they call her Sweet J because she can shoot the ball. Don't tell her. I hope she's not watching, but she can shoot better than me a little bit. We got Big Easy, Nate Big Easy Lofton. We got Highlight Bruton. We have Ant Atchison. These are just a couple of the superstars that you guys will see when you come out to a Harlem Globetrotter game, which is going to be February 6th. And at 7 o'clock, you want to see you guys there at the First Niagara Arena.
The one routine that the Trotters made famous, the most famous routine that I remember, was always the bucket of water that ended up being the bucket of confetti. Do they still do that?
You got to come to the game to see. You know, there's certain staples that you know you're going to see. That's probably one of them, but there's also little nuances that we do, like right there getting on top of the rim. Who knew we were going to do that? You never know what you're going to get with the Harlem Globetrotter game. The one thing that you do know you're going to come away with is a smile, and that's our goal.
The routines are planned, but I'm sure there are things happen during the game that maybe aren't. Maybe is there one story that you recall that something happened with a fan that was unexpected and turned out positive?
There's been a couple of things that that are very unexpected, and I find myself on the sideline sometimes when they call a timeout, just cracking up at something one of my teammates did. And probably the most unexpected thing is one time one of the showmen said over the microphone, it was like, "Man, Zeus, we need to get you a ticket, don't we?" And everybody started cracking up at me because I'm like, yeah, I'm having too good of a time.
The thing that surprised me when I played in the little, the routine, and to give a real quick story, they always would pick a guy from, or a player from, an on-air person from a local station that was sponsoring the Trotters. You got in to shoot a free throw and they would take you out of the game. It amazed me. The parts of the game that aren't scripted, it's real basketball. I mean, the Generals and the Trotters are both playing the best they can play. Yeah,
well, Bob, me and you share in that I used to be a Washington General, and obviously, if I used to play for them, you have to have some type of skill to play for that team, and they're really, really good. This year, in fact, is our 2015 Washington Generals Revenge Tour, and they haven't beat us in they haven't played us in the last 5 years, and they haven't beat us since 1971, but I wasn't born, so it wasn't my fault.
No, you can't take that. February 6th, 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Tickets are available at the First Niagara Center. You can go online. It's a great night. It's very, very fan-friendly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, absolutely. And we give back to our community and our fans. One thing we're doing that's very special this year, you guys can log online to harlemglobetrotters.com and nominate a local hometown hero right here in Buffalo. Now, that's any active, retired, or wounded warrior that was a part of the military. We let you guys go online and nominate them, and we're going to honor them at the game on Friday.
Oh, wow, very cool.
We're just going to, give back to these people who have sacrificed so much for us over time.
Tell the fans how you got the nickname Zeus.
Oh, well, funny story, not really. I got the nickname Zeus because every time I dunk the ball, it sounds like thunder, and thunder was taken, so they call me Zeus. But I like to tell everybody it's for my superhero physique.
Now, I notice you're not wearing a wedding ring. Is there a Mrs. Zeus at home?
Yes, her name is Biden. You see that?
Well, now I know why they've got you out on the road. You got all the great lines. February 6th, 7 o'clock, First Niagara Center. Meet Zeus in person. Is there an autograph session for the fans?
After the game, we have a 30-minute autograph session. And also before the game, we have this thing called Magic Pass. That's when you guys can come down and meet some of the players, take a picture with us. We'll teach you a trick and maybe shoot some shots.
You knew how to spin the ball before you signed up with the Trotter?
Yes, sir.
How long did it take you to do that?
Oh, man, that happened pretty quick. My brother used to always take me to play basketball with him when I was younger. And since I wasn't as good as the guys that he was playing with, I would always just kind of sit on the sideline and just do this. So
how long can you do that?
I would say maybe about 10 seconds, unless I keep it going. There we go.
Harlem Globetrotters, February 6th, First Niagara Center, Friday night, 7 o'clock. We'll be back. More of All Sports West New York right after this.